All right, welcome everybody. We're live. This is Labs Talk Live. For the first time, we are actually live streaming, not just on Facebook, but also on YouTube and also on Twitter. If you're lucky, also on LinkedIn. As always, I've got my dear co-host with me. Hi, Erica.
Hi, Sven. Hi, everyone out there.
Well, you look a tiny bit different. Is this real or is it AR?
Well, I've got my Santa hat, a little bit of snow inside, but you look pretty different, I must say, Sven.
I look a bit younger, I would say, right?
Yeah, a little bit more hair today.
You don't know what's actually underneath here, right? So.
Yeah.
So this is pretty awesome. We are talking about Snap, the world of Snap, in a second with our special guest, Ben. But before that, let's hear why we're actually live streaming, right?
Yeah, so you guys know us. We are always experimenting and wanting to try out something a bit different. And so we've been in discussions and been thinking that maybe we'll do a bit more live streaming going into the next year. So stay tuned for a few changes and we'll see how it goes with incorporating more live streaming into Labs Talk.
Very cool. So I think it's time to introduce our special guest, and that's Ben Knudsen.
Hello.
Ben, how are you doing?
Great.
Hey, Ben.
How are you? Hello.
Very cool. Yeah, I think I'm very good. I'm super excited, actually. Let me switch you to the big view here. I think this is going to be the perfect reason to live stream and also the perfect Christmas episode, to be honest with you. So we had a blast talking with you about the Snap ecosystem and more stuff. So why don't you quickly introduce yourself? What are you doing all day long?
Sure, yeah. Well, my name is Ben Knudsen. I am an official lens creator at Snapchat. I have been making lenses since they released Lens Studio back in December of 2017. It's been a lot of fun, and actually in November of 2018, I quit my full-time job to make lenses full-time. So since 2018, I started a company called KAR Graphics, which specializes in creating augmented reality experiences for brands and agencies. And that's been what I have been doing for the past 2 years. And to answer your question, what I do all day, pretty much sit on my computer and play around with lenses. And I mean, it doesn't feel like work, but yeah.
So it's like our job, right, Erica?
Yes. Although this is a bit out of the norm for us, and I think a great segue into why we wanted to talk with you about AR experiences and customer experience, and in this case, I guess also employee experience as well, right?
Yeah.
So Sven, did you want to get into the first questions, I suppose?
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe we should first quickly outline what's really the Snap ecosystem, right? So, I mean, we talked about Lens Studio. There's, of course, many people will know the Snapchat mobile app. Then there's Spectacles. We're using the Snap camera right now. And that might be something that I totally missed now. So can you give us a quick overview of how that ecosystem looks like, that Snap ecosystem?
Sure. I like the baby elf lens that you're using right now. So I'm going to switch over to that. There we go. I like that better.
Hey, little Ben.
We're twins. Yeah, I think you described it pretty well. I think that in terms of augmented reality, the ecosystem starts out in Lens Studio. Making lenses either for the community under your profile, or as like a sponsored lens for a ad campaign. And beyond that, then we have the Snap camera, which extends the lens's use to the desktop, to our computers. And then beyond that, they are now adding the integration for different apps and different programs to use the lenses. So the Snap has what they call the camera kit, and it basically opens up their API to other platforms to use. And beyond that, they have Spectacles, which are the wearable AR devices that allow you to first capture the moment from a first-person perspective. I can actually pull my specs out here and show you what they look like. These are the specs V3. So these are the ones that are actually integrated with Lens Studio. So we can make lenses and basically once we record the video on the specs, we can basically put our lenses into those videos. So just
super amazing.
Yeah,
so when I first opened the Lens Studio, to be honest with you, I was really blown away because I mean I knew about Snapchat and I wasn't so much into Snapchat. So now we just talked about it. I'm 160 days straight basically talking to a friend of mine at work via Snapchat, and that of course helps to understand the whole ecosystem. But some months back when I started looking into this whole ecosystem, I was really blown away by the Lens Studio because it's such a fully integrated IDE, and it felt pretty easy and natural to get started with creating your first lens. So that's what you do all day long. Amazing.
It's very fun. Also, I'm liking the hipster vibe coming from you now too.
Yeah, thank you.
So in our next episode of Labs Talk, which is coming on Thursday, we really get into why AR experiences are something that brands and companies are turning to improve their customer experience and to engage their consumers and their audiences in new ways. Of course, this is a perfect example as to how playful and how imaginative and how unique these experiences can be. What are some of the things, of course not to give everything away, but what are some of the things that you're seeing companies are leveraging AR experiences for when it comes to engaging their customers?
Sure, yeah. I think especially now during this pandemic, it's really important to have an online presence and an online, especially when you're doing when you're developing your campaigns for whether it be digital marketing or in-person things, it's really important to bring that online. And also, more importantly, I think it's really important to get that Gen Z demographic. A lot of brands are really trying to reach Gen Z, and I think Snap is the perfect way to do that, especially with these lenses, because I can't think of a more engaging way to interact with your demographic than to literally allow them to wear your experience and just try it out themselves and have fun with it. It's going way beyond just the standard tappable 5-second ads or unskippable ads, I should say, that this actually incentivizes people to engage with the experience instead of just skip through it.
Can you give us a few examples for that in terms of engaging with the brand, for example, via Snapchat? Yeah,
for sure. I think that in terms of engagement, there's so many different ways that you can do that as a brand. If you have a clothing brand, I've seen plenty of clothing brands do try-on experiences where you can literally have the users try on the clothing item that you have. If it's hats, you can have them like switch through the different hats you want. If it's a shirt, you can even do that. And more recently, since Lens Studio has came out with machine learning abilities, they were able to basically detect feet, and you could try on different shoes, different shooting.
Yeah, it's very cool. I actually just did that just as another prep, basically half an hour before. I tried out some super fluffy shoes. So I don't remember the brand, to be honest with you, but I'm close. So
yeah. And like and beyond just like that, even if you have a in-person installment, before the pandemic, I've done a few experiences for things using marker technology. So basically, the camera's looking for a certain image, and then when it finds that image, you can do really whatever you want. So this is used a lot for, say, billboards or for movie posters, and it really is a great way to to I guess augment the just the regular experience that people are used to, and just give them something more that they weren't expecting. You know, like somebody sees that Snap code on something, they scan it, and then it just brings this whole world to life around them. And it's really immersive and engaging.
Very cool. Erica, I just see quite a few people sending us comments and also thumbs up, basically, from Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. So I just want to take a second to thank you all, actually. There's too many that I can actually show them all, actually, but there are quite a few, actually. You know,
hello.
Here we go.
Hey.
There's a big hello. And there's something from LinkedIn here, from Poland, actually. Yeah, so thank you so much. So maybe that's also maybe a shout out to everybody. If you have a question, right, now is the time. So pose your question. If it's something meaningful, I'll try to bring it in here. Okay. But for now, I think we should go on with our questions, right, Erica?
Yes, yeah. So, Ben, you mentioned a little bit ago, Gen Z and Snapchatters, and again, this is something that we touched on a bit more in the podcast. But I guess we can thank them for bringing about this revolution of new content, right? How have you seen behaviors from this demographic shape basically these interactions, and also how companies are leveraging these types of interactions?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that it's just with Gen Z. I can't say that I understand the whole demographic as a whole, because I am not Gen Z. I am a millennial, but I think that Gen Z is a unique demographic in that they have grown up using ads, especially mobile ads. They're the first demographic that's really all that they have known. For me, I grew up on commercials, and there's always this new medium that comes about when technology advances. And I think with Gen Z, them being used to these mobile ads, and just basically, I think, kind of being primed to skip past them and not even register them in their minds. It's not really getting through to them. So I think that with AR and giving them this amazing ability to not only interact with the experience and engage with it, but enjoy the experience. And I think that's something that is really important now, is that, if you want to kind of get this brand awareness, and you want to, we got a bit,
there's some real question.
Perfect timing, actually, for this question.
I was thinking about that too.
For sure. I'm trying to think of if there's some community lenses that I could put on here, because the thing about lenses is that you can do it two different ways as a brand. You can have it as a sponsored lens, which means that it's using Snap's ad platform, so you can target your specific demographic, run for however long you want. You can target your different ad spend amount, and then on the other end, you can post it as a community lens, which is how individual creators and individual profiles will post stuff. So I see on the community side, there's a lot of music brands, like artists that are posting on their public profiles, which brings me to, I'm going to try and see if I can find one that I worked on a while back for Benny Blanco and Justin Bieber. Hold on one second here.
Yeah, and while you're looking for that, I do also think it's a great point that we also got into when especially you brought this up, but the culture of creating, and the fact that you're not just being a passive consumer or spectator, basically, but you are actually able to create, whether it's just the user using the app or the services, or also on the developer side, right?
Yeah, I think that's really important, and that's what Snap has emphasized, is creativity and enabling people to be creative. And I think that a lot of people, not just Gen Z, but a lot of people are looking for that creative outlet, and Lens Studio and Snap gives us that. Which brings me to this. To answer the question, I found the lens.
Oh my God.
So you can't hear it right now because I'm in Snap Camera, but if you were on the app, when I open my mouth and Justin rolls out on my tongue, you would hear the song start playing. So that's, a really fun, playful way to get the song out there and get people who might not have heard it to hear it and have fun engaging with it as well.
It's amazing. Can we talk for a few seconds, actually? We got some other really good questions coming in, actually. We should take another one. But before we do that, can we talk a tiny bit about Snap Lens Studio and how hard is it actually to create an experience such as this hat, for example? So can you just give us a quick overview of what it takes to create such a lens?
Sure. I think, if you want, I could share my screen, but for now I'll just show you Lens Studio. But for now I can talk about it. Lens Studio, is a software that is, I think, great because it works if you're a complete beginner or if you're a really experienced developer, whether that's like a 3D modeler, a coder, or in whatever kind of graphic design aspect. It appeals to literally anybody. I know that there are other official lens creators who are half my age, and they're thriving. And so it's anybody can make lenses, and the way that they make it so easy is that they offer all of these resources in the forms of templates.
Yeah.
So for pretty much any kind of use case you can think of for a lens, they have a template for it that you can just click into, and it has everything pre-built for you. All you need to do is customize it and make it your own.
Yeah, and I've done that actually for, I think I once created a Labs Talk lens that did count, it was a countdown, I believe, to the next release date or so. It was super easy and a lot of fun. Should we take one more question? I'm a bit hesitant. I'm not sure if you can really talk about that. It's about precision targeting of Snap. Maybe you can quickly show it, yeah? So this is from Pranav. How powerful is precision targeting in Snapchat, considering, say, Facebook as frame of reference? Do you have any info about that, or is this a bit too detailed for?
Well, I think I have to first make sure that I'm understanding if I understand precision targeting the way I think it is. If what you mean in terms of precision targeting, like targeting specific demographics.
I believe that's what he means, probably, right? To target people based on location, gender, age, for example, right? And maybe also their hobbies or so. So
I think it's very powerful, especially on the Snaps platform, because they have that specific information. They can grab, they can get the age range that you are looking for, or the location, and also based on your interests as well. And this is only if you opt into these. You have the option, obviously, to not, list like the interests or allow them, to collect that data. But if you do, then they have all of this information about like the kind of stuff that you like, and it's very good because it'll give I would say it's on par or even better than Facebook's precision targeting, because at least with Snap they have a lot of range of demographics in there. I think that Facebook is kind of losing out on the Gen Z demographic.
Very cool. So
so I mean, what do you think, Sven? Do we have time for one more question, or should we wrap up? I don't know.
So I would like to ask one more question, if that's okay, and then you go for the final thing. Okay, so what I would really love to discuss a tiny bit with you, Ben, and also with you, Erika, actually, is what do you think? How does a lens basically change you from a psychological point of view, basically, right? So I mean, I've been doing this now with Lars, actually a colleague of mine, for quite some time. We've been Snapchatting on a daily basis, and sometimes we had video chats with the lenses, for example. I believe I am kind of acting a tiny bit different when I have a lens on, basically, right? So I mean, you're kind of masquerading part of your your face. I mean, I don't see any wrinkles here. You don't see my old face, blah blah. So, and it makes me talk about things that are probably a bit more. I might be more open, or I might be a different person. So it's quite interesting from a psychological point of view. So how do you think it changes people, and what does it mean, kind of?
Yeah. Well, I think that it definitely will. I think it definitely helps people be a little bit more comfortable in these kind of things. I know that not everybody's comfortable on doing video chats or just in general, and I think it really helps kind of bring people out of their shell because it really emphasizes. It really helps convey emotion in a way. I think that like there are certain lenses that could make you feel maybe like sad. Like let me pull out one of my rainy day lenses. Like this one could make you, I mean, maybe a little sad with the raininess, or there are lenses that are supposed to be funny. Like I made this Uncle Gary lens, which
nice.
is, a little silly, but I think that it's just a great way to
express yourself, kind of,
exactly.
right? So it's just another layer, actually, right?
Yes, yeah, and it really allows you to kind of fine tune what you're getting across without even have to say anything. You can just pull up a lens that will convey your mood, sometimes better than what any words could convey it. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Absolutely. And I mean, I would only add to what we've already discussed before. But for me, for instance, I had my birthday a little bit more, almost a month ago, actually. And of course, with the lockdowns, it wasn't possible to have any kind of celebration or something like this. So I had to do something entirely different, which was, a Zoom online rendition of getting together. And despite the Zoom fatigue and all of that we're all very acquainted with by now, it was nice to be able to play some games and to literally just use different lenses and different filters to play around and to joke around and to engage with everyone and to just to feel a little bit more together than we would if we were just sitting in front of each other chatting as we are doing all throughout the day virtually. So I really do think that that having these little to even really large ways to alter and to enhance our experience and what we're visualizing, and also to do it communally is really helping to both alleviate some of the things that we're dealing with now, but also unlock some of this creativity as to what the future will look like virtually and physically all together once we can explore more of those things in the future. So I do definitely think that it has a major benefits in plural, psychologically and socially.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. It I know people, I mean, I know personally friends that have social anxiety that still love posting with lenses on their story because it kind of adds, it just gives you almost like a buffer, it lets you come out of your shell, and I think it's just great. It's just a fantastic way to express yourself.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, Ben, do you have any news, any updates you'd like to share since the last time we spoke with you?
Yeah, I would. Let me pull up my my serious lens here. Awesome. So,
very serious, yeah.
I mean, since we recorded the podcast, we had the annual Lens Fest. Obviously, it was virtual this year, but with the annual Lens Fest, there's obviously going to be a lot of awesome announcements. And with this year, they announced Lens Studio 3.3, which has brought a lot of different capabilities out. With the new 3.3 update, the biggest thing that I am excited about is visual scripting. So what that means is, like before, the only way that you could add these custom interactions and custom things was by typing up like traditional coding. And with visual scripting, they have created this amazing node-based graph experience where you basically, instead of typing the code up, you can pull these nodes together and wire them together so that you can have the same effect basically. And this is going to be huge for people who traditional coding was kind of that barrier for them. And exactly. So now anybody can kind of jump in and connect these nodes together without having to learn the syntax or anything. I mean, you still have to work around errors, but it's got, from what I've seen of it so far, it's very sophisticated, but also very user friendly. So this is going to be a huge game changer in the Lens Studio ecosphere.
I think that's amazing because it's so you're talking about low code programming basically, right? So it's basically programming for the rest of us more or less without any programming skills, but you still want to create all that cool stuff, of course, right?
Yep, now you can. And
now you can.
And Snap has always been about lowering the barrier of entry for people who want to make lenses, and this is yet another huge step in that direction, so that literally anybody can be lens creators.
Yeah, very cool. So, Erica, any more questions? Anything else we should?
No, I think we really covered it, and I think that if you prod us enough, we're going to be on here all day.
I also just realized I could also stream forever. This is a lot of fun. At the same time, we learned something about Gen Z, right? And Snap and the whole ecosystem. Thank you so much, Ben. It's been awesome. You can see everybody who's watching, you can see cxlabs.sap.com/labstalk. That's where you can still subscribe to our podcast. The episode's coming out on Thursday. You can also tweet us if you're still using Twitter. If you're not Gen Z, then you might be using Twitter, right? It's #LabsTalk. And again, from next year on, we're going to be live a bit more often. Cool. Thank you so much and have a good time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.